Hey, Geoff.
Hey, Kelly.
Well, we're back.
Yes, we are.
And this is the Blueprints for Belonging, where we're exploring how to build conscious connection in a disconnected world.
Because belonging doesn't happen by accident. It happens by design.
Woohoo!
Yeah.
Well, here we are. We're back here, and we're working on this next part of what we're helping people kind of get some awareness to, and it's really the part of an acronym that I have. It's called BIG, and it stands for big, or it's part of my work on big growth. And the first letter of the acronym for BIG is building or build awareness. And so that's kind of what we're talking about today. Because in our belonging, building this awareness around the things that have been maybe
Normalized.
Yeah. We're going to talk about that one.
Uh-huh.
Okay. You go for it. You start with what's normalized.
Well, oh gosh. Judging others and ourselves, pushing our ideas on each other without actually stopping to be curious about what might be going on with those people.
Mm-hmm.
That's so normalized. And, pushing demands on others just because of what we want. No consideration for our attitude or what they are actually looking at.
So part of being on autopilot, we keep repeating those patterns.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and if we don't have any awareness to it, we can't change anything.
That's right.
Or do anything different if we're not aware of it. So.
That's right. You have to be aware of something if you want to do anything about it.
But a lot of people don't really understand what awareness is.
Right, because they aren't aware.
Unaware. Okay.
Yeah.
So, first of all, without awareness, we get into making assumptions.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes those assumptions about things disconnect us from other people. And it gets into, we talked in our previous episode, we were talking about judgment, and that's a form of our disconnections when we get into judgment about people. And often these judgments are part of assumptions that we're making about something that we might not really be fully aware of or truly have a lot of information about. So, And often we miss getting our own needs and feelings met because we're unaware of what those feelings are. I've had people that said, I've never really felt this certain way or something like that. I've always been just angry.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what you mean by that kind of feeling.
Right.
So,
well, literacy of needs and feelings is of paramount importance if you ever want to be able to become aware of your own. You need to know what they are. Mm-hmm. And
most people have
a language of these things, but nobody knows what they are.
We haven't really introduced those.
Right.
Because if you have a need, then you're probably needy. And that's a need that we have.
Yeah.
That we don't usually, or you're too emotional or whatever.
Mm-hmm. You're too needy, you're too emotional. Because, I need. It's like, well, we all need. We all have the same needs at some point in our lives as humans.
Yeah.
So we all share that, and we all share the same feelings, too.
So belonging requires awareness.
Indeed it does, because without it, we project assumptions onto each other.
Right.
We miss our own feelings and needs most of the time, and we can't communicate clearly, which blocks connection.
So awareness isn't about judgment or shame. It's about our curiosity and our own growth. And so kind of recognizing these repeated patterns that we've learned from our family and our culture, and they're basically just survival strategies, but really being aware of our autopilot that we're on and being aware that we're wanting to do something different. If nothing changes, nothing changes. So,
Mm-hmm.
so.
Yep.
So how do we start with learning about what awareness is? I mean, how do you...
Well, how about talking about all the different kinds of awareness there are?
Okay.
Because there are quite a few, you know. There's body awareness. So when your body is signaling to you...
My neck is hurting right now because I'm leaning in a certain way. Yeah.
Right. Well, and I don't know if we have time for a little story, but...
Go for it.
In my last corporate job, I was encountering gut issues. So I had an upset stomach a lot. And this was 3 years before I was let go of that job. So I didn't know what it was, and so I thought maybe it was lactose intolerance. Late in life developed, so I cut dairy out of my diet. That did not work. And then I was aware of the pain, but I wasn't aware of what was causing it. And then I investigated a FODMAP diet, and I was about to embark upon a FODMAP diet, which is FODMAP. Every letter means something that food does. And before I could do that, before I could meet with a dietitian, I lost my job, and my gut healed itself within a week. It was the stress. And now I know that about myself, because I had stress-related issues. It was with my eye. Actually, my eye began to twitch at another job I had. So I assumed, okay, that's job stress. I know what that is. I know what that looks like. This was different job stress, and it affected me differently. And the awareness brings it about, because you understand what's going on, but you don't know what's causing it. And sometimes you have to uncover what's causing it. Because I had to lose my job to figure out what it was. That's so sad. And
stress was a big part of that for you.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. No, the stress of that job was horrible.
It's really great that you found out in time.
Yeah. Before it did any damage.
Any more damage, right? So, wow, that's really great. So I guess then for that, awareness isn't just about what's happening externally, it's also about what's happening internally.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, you consider a tightening jaw or a tightening chest. Those are internal too, right? Because you can't see those things happening on the outside. And your toiling gut, that's all on the inside.
So I guess the stress part, when we were talking about this, that kind of hits the emotional part of what these awareness is, yeah.
Right.
So frustration, fear, longing, loneliness. Yeah.
Loneliness, anger. And, because anger is a secondary emotion. There's always something underneath it.
All right. And it's the fastest emotion that comes up.
Right. You get angry really quickly.
You can get angry very quickly. And, people get mad at themselves for getting angry about something or but it's just let you know that your alert system is on target and it's really working well. So I'm glad that you're getting angry fast, Now that you're aware of it, you can do something about it.
Right. You can feel the anger coming, and then you can maybe stop and think about what's underneath it. What is making me angry about the situation, or what am I afraid of? Because fear and anger are very closely related. And sometimes you're afraid of something, and that brings up anger because it's telling you fight back. Yeah, it's crazy, but your body is it's
a remarkable machine, right,
to inform you about things that are going to bother you sooner or later. Yeah, it's very perceptive, actually.
Yeah.
And we need to match its perception with our own perception.
Right. So we're not able to have connections with people if we are not able to communicate clearly. And if we have some of these body sensations and emotions that are coming up, sometimes that's going to block us from being able to connect in a more effective way. But there's some other things about our awareness that we need to be aware of. That there's some thought patterns that we might have had, and we've talked a little bit about memes on our previous episodes, but sometimes those thought patterns are a mimetic structure that we might have been given from our families of origin or our school socialization from our communities and church and whatever. So our thought patterns might be something like, this will never work, or this is too hard, or I always do this.
This always happens to me.
To me, right. So if you're not recognizing these thought patterns, in my field, we call this the itty-bitty shitty committee.
Love that.
Yeah, and so it goes off and it likes to correct us or get us to do something different. And so, but being aware of that little committee in your head that gets you to be thinking those types of thoughts, kind of doing the investigative work of wondering where those come from. And you'll start to see kind of how you were introduced to those types of memes. And how they were functional in your environment at the time, being a kid or being a young person out of college or whatever. You had to fit in and belong, so you went along with what was going on at the time.
Yep.
So.
Because getting along with others is what we do.
Well, yeah. Because that's the last one I want to share about, a little bit more of our environment and our relational cues that we have. We've talked a little bit about I can't say that word.
Oh.
I know.
What is asynchronous.
Asynchronous, yes. I always have to remember that there's a sink in it.
Right.
Not like the filling up the sink, but that you're going to sink. So, asynchronistic. When that is kind of like texting and email. You're not able to hear the person's tone or read their body language. So that's why we try to include an emoji, and now there's trouble with using the thumbs up emoji. Some people think that's not great anymore.
Right.
So,
well,
anyway.
People will always be upset about something.
Yeah. So anyway, so that's the tone and our energy that sometimes we often miss because we're not aware of them. Or so being aware of how our tone might come across, like I might be really excited about something, but Geoff isn't. He's just kind of, he's okay with it, but I might be really super excited and I might come off a little bit like this, I'm so excited. Oh my gosh, isn't this great? And he's like, yeah, okay, whatever.
Yeah, like, all right. Well,
yeah,
and actually,
slow down.
And actually on this thing, so with texting, I've gotten into a lot of trouble with people on texting because when I read the text that they sent me, I read it with tonality that I associate with that person. But that may not be the tone that they actually wrote it with. And so I'm going off of old information that I assign to that text, and then I get all wound up because of it. And that's a very dangerous game. Yeah, that's how that's how misunderstandings happen.
Yeah, we'll share more about that in another episode because we want to make sure that people are aware of how to use those, and we've got some guidelines for how to use texting and email, and making sure that you kind of use that as a protocol, kind of a way to, like if you're talking to somebody first thing in the morning, you want to say good morning. Or if it's the first time you're, talking with them during the day, hey, what you doing? I'm just checking in with you. You're creating as if you were calling on the phone. You wouldn't go straight into, okay, and hang up the phone, would you?
Right.
So you just want to create that social context that you have with that person that helps them know that they get the tone of your texting or get an idea of what you're talking about.
Yeah. Well, it's like basically dealing with them as if you were on the phone with them or in person.
Right, and I don't know if you've had somebody that shared. I mean, I've had people that told me that they've had people text them that they wanted to end their relationship with them.
Wow.
Or you're not working out as the best I think that you're supposed to. I'm like, wait a second, I'm going into a meeting. When can we talk about this? I don't know what to do.
Right, and they're like, no, this is it. We're talking about it right now.
Now,
done.
right, yeah.
Yeah. Ugh. yuck.
Or they use it for, they use it for keeping score in the relationship. You didn't do this, you didn't do that. So they're letting you know all of the details you haven't finished or you haven't done. I'm making sure you're aware of what's going on for me. I would not recommend that type of way that you're sharing it. So.
No, I would never recommend scorekeeping.
Scorekeeping, no.
That's a bad relationship tactic. Yeah.
So how does awareness support our belonging? How do you think that, what do we need to do first before?
Okay, what is your question then?
Well,
you just gave me two questions.
I know I did. So we're trying to help people understand what belonging is. Mm-hmm. And what gets in the way of belonging is an absence of awareness. Mm-hmm. Right. So why is awareness so hard? That's a question.
Well, deep awareness, deep self-awareness requires introspection.
And practice.
Mm-hmm. And that's not on a lot of people's radar, unfortunately.
Here's my theory. I don't think it's been something that has... it's not a useful thing to pass down.
I think it is.
Oh, I think it is. But I think it's not something that is monetized.
Oh, well, no, it's definitely not monetized, and it's not appreciated in society.
No.
Right. It's right up there with vulnerability.
Right.
And, well, who wants that?
So I think why it's so hard is that we're trying to keep peace, and we're trying to perform, and we don't want to avoid any...
Don't want to rock the boat.
Don't want to rock the boat. So, but we just don't pay attention. To it, or if I don't know about it, I can't say anything about it.
Right.
But sometimes I think our culture kind of prioritizes over noticing. I know what you did. You did this wrong, and you did this wrong, and you did this wrong. Right? Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. We like to make sure people know about it. That's a little, and in some ways I think that's what they think awareness is, and that's not awareness. I mean, yes, I can bring all of the things that you've not done up to, I don't think that would be a great way to
start a conversation.
Nope. No.
No, it's a great way to get somebody on their back foot and a great way to get somebody in self-defense mode, but that's not connecting. Mm-mm. That's the opposite of connecting.
And another reason why I think awareness is so hard is that because we are not aware that it's there or aware to practice it, you don't really know how to do something you don't know how to do. Let me use that as an analogy for something else. If I was wanting to learn how to change the oil in my tire or change the oil in my car, first of all, I would have to know something a little bit about the mechanics of a car. It's not just something that you change out like
No, you have to know how to unplug the bottom and let
or
the
get
old,
under the
old,
bottom.
old oil drain out,
right.
and then you close it back up again before you put the new oil in. Otherwise, it'll just drain right out.
Or you can't just let it dry out or go out on your carport either, because you have to put it into a container.
No.
Right.
Yes,
so there's lots of other things that are complexing the task.
Right.
So practicing building awareness is a skill, just like we're learning any other new language. We have to practice it, practicing awareness, being aware of things that are going on in our lives, being aware of the time, being aware of my body, being aware of
my emotional state,
or
thought patterns.
Yeah. Yeah. Or I'm slowing down in my life. Sometimes I can't remember a word. Is that because I'm slowing down, or is that, early dementia, or,
Right.
I don't know. But anyway, so I'm noticing those things. So I'm not saying that just because you notice it, it means you have to judge it. Or you have to say, oh, this is bad and I've got to go take care of it. You're just paying attention. Right, you're just paying attention because losing your train of thought is part of life. It is. I'm much older now than I was before.
Well put.
Yeah. So I've just kind of learned to I'm aware of things. If there's something that needs my attention, then I pay attention to it, and I take some action with it. I check it out. I go investigate it. What does it mean? What do I need to work on? Is it something that I need to take care of in this moment? Is it something I need to have a conversation with? I'm not just reacting to that. I'm taking some time to look at it. So how does awareness support our belonging?
How does it support it? Well, if you are aware of others' feelings and needs, then that can support your belonging with those individuals. And knowing how you're coming off to others is...
So noticing when you might be judging others.
Judging others or getting angry ahead of actually showing that anger physically. And, being aware of yourself and others is so valuable because it means that you can get on with people. You're not coming off as abrasive or hoity-toity, with your judgments and, oh, I'm better than you. And, where does that come from? We know where it comes from.
So recognizing when you get disconnected too. Recognizing when you get disconnected from yourself and with other people or get distracted, kind of recognizing what's coming up, and you can just investigate, wonder what that was. Oh, it was a bird that flew into our room. Or, okay, whatever. Whatever's kind of showing up for you.
Right.
Sometimes the way we communicate, when we're clear about what we're discussing and what we're talking about, that really helps too. It supports our belonging, because if you're just vague about things and not sharing what you're, like if we were vague about this topic,
we wouldn't have a
podcast. Right. So belonging requires us to show up as we are. That's kind of why, we're just here having this conversation, because we want to make it clear that we're learning as well, but we're also sharing what we're learning. And our wellness helps us know who we are, and it hopefully helps you know who you are. And it opens, it helps us open that door to our own and growth. Right.
Absolutely. Yep. Those are the foundations for connection.
Yeah, they are.
And I know this must sound really strange to some people, because they are so disconnected.
From themselves first.
From themselves, yeah. And because, when you think about it, you can't change other people. You can't change external things. You have very little power over anything except your own self.
That's where that's the G and the big. I get to generate my own choice. Right. So, yeah, I'll save this for another day, but a control diagram is a great way to remind oneself of the things that they can and cannot control. Would you remind people what a control diagram is?
Sure. So the way I've done it, and there are different ways to do it, I think, but you put your hand on a piece of paper and you trace around it with permanent marker, and on the inside of the hand you write down all the things that you can control, which is
your thoughts,
my thoughts, my feelings, my urges, my anxiety, my driving habits. And then outside the hand, you write down in washable markers all the things that you can't control, like other people's habits, other people's thoughts, other people's feelings, other people's driving habits. And then you spray water on the drawing and watch all the color wash away. And all that's left is what you can control. And I love that practice because every time I've done it, I've done about 5 or 6 over the years. Every time it's different. So that just goes to show that it's practice. And you could always use some reminding of the things you can and cannot control.
And just for our grins, we want to just acknowledge where that came from.
Oh yeah,
we practice life, right? Yeah, that's wonderful. So belonging requires us to show up as we are. So, and awareness helps us know who we are in the first place. So that's the practice we're working on. So you gave an example before. Is there another example you might have that you want to share?
Yeah, I guess when it comes to quote unquote difficult people, awareness helps you actually look at that situation and pick out the things that are causing you to classify them as difficult. Because they're not just difficult. They might do this and this and this, and these things appear to you as being difficult. And
Can we unpack that real quick?
Yeah.
So when you say they're difficult, is that they're doing something that goes against what you need?
Yes. It makes it difficult to complete the work that we're doing together because they're belligerent or always angry. I mean, that's the case I remember.
Right, and so then you would need peace and understanding or...
For whatever it
is.
Whatever
that we're working on.
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
Okay.
And, I think that happens a lot, actually. Because people classify other people as difficult quite a lot. And it's just a blanket statement, and it's a label, and there's more to that person than just being difficult, as you would say.
Sometimes I have difficult conversations with my clients, especially if they don't really want to talk about it. So sometimes that disconnection in our conversation, trying to help them become aware of what might be going on in their own body at that moment. They're scared. They're trying to share something that was really private with somebody that's going to try to help them. They're not really sure that this is going to help them, so they might not want to share that information. And so they need some reassurance or need some more information before continuing. So sometimes just taking that pause and allowing that person to kind of work through that, helping them have that awareness of what's going on and what they might need in this moment, and hearing those needs and using that empathy skill of sharing back with them. That really makes a lot of sense, that you're not wanting to share this about this person that's in your life. One, because I might know that person, and you might be fearful I might say something. Well, that makes a lot of sense. Anyway, so sharing it something like that way, yeah.
Right, and what might have helped them was understanding that everything in that room was confidential.
Right. And
so reflection prompt?
Our reflection prompt, right. So where in your day do you find yourself on autopilot in conversations or relationships? What do you notice in your body or thoughts in those moments?
Yeah, that sounds like a journal moment. Or moments.
But that daily reflection is a really good thing to do. So what am I feeling in this moment right now? What do I need in this moment right now? So, all right, well, here we are. Kind of close to the end here, but I just want to recap. Awareness isn't about judging ourselves. It's about noticing so that we can choose something different, noticing how to be more connected with each other. And when we're being more connected with ourselves, we're inviting or I don't know, reaching that hand out and asking others to join us. So that's what I see it as. So our next episode will be moving into, I'm not sure if we're going to go into that investigating meaning just yet, but we might have a little bit more on building awareness, just a little bit more. But then we might investigate meaning a little bit for that too. So.
Right. You'll have to stay tuned to find out.
I know. So we invite y'all to subscribe or share or leave a review. We just really appreciate you being here, sharing with us. So
Absolutely.
until next time.
Yeah.